All right, everybody, welcome in. This is Althrimir, and we are going over update 49 or season 0 of the PTS Patch Notes. And if you don't know what the PTS Patch Notes is, it's the public test server for the Elder Scrolls Online. So let's just dive right into this. I'm most likely, unless I forget, 50-50 shot on that one. I'll have timestamps for you guys. Jump around. So let's just go. All right, so let's see. Where do I begin here? This is just obviously just saying it's the season 0 content. That's pretty fucking obvious. Okay, please note the night market will be going live on January 20th when the PTS Week 2 goes live. It will also remain playable on the PTS until February 24th. Okay, after the PTS cycle officially ends. For players who wish to get more testing time, we are providing the night market information now so that you have additional information on what to expect. The night market, a valuable trade hub for all manner of goods, both worldly and Daedric, is in constant flux as different patrons vie for control of its resources. There is a power vacuum currently within the market as the former leader has disappeared and rival patrons have laid claim to the mantle of leadership. These claims hold little sway as malevolent forces have pushed their way into the market and districts have fallen. Mortals are normally shunned from the market area of Fargrave, but the patrons have opened the pathway to hopefully entice their aid to become the ruler of the market. Yes, we go to the market. Sorry. New zone type. Duh. More difficult than your average zone. You will want to find friends or tag along with other adventurers to brave these challenges. Pledge to patrons and engage in activities to win favor in your chosen faction. So the factions are Glittering Gold, God, Goad, Glittering Blah. Gets its name from the amassed wealth of their faction. The faction primarily runs the auctions and stands within the night market and takes their own cuts. Prestigious auctions seek out Glittering Goad. It's just a weird word. It's just, I know how to pronounce it. It's just a weird word. Members to sell their wares as they are sure to fetch the best prices. They are a metocracy, believing anyone has a chance to make it big in the night market, provided they paid for the privilege. Right, then you got the Ruckus. Faction seeks to control through strength. They want a cut of everything sold and offer protection for those parties wanting to do business. They are primed to be the rulers until their district was overrun with darkness and grief. And Thousand Eyes, they are a faction as old as the night market itself. It is comprised of small, skittering, the insignificant, but in those numbers, great power. They have banded together to blunt the strength of other factions by seeking knowledge and blah, blah, blah. All right. 3 themed districts to explore: the Parch, the Skittering Precinct, and Sorrow's Friend. Okay, activities to conquer bosses and challenging monsters. Okay. Daring races. How quickly can you traverse and survive the winding streets of each district? They actually have something that I remember years ago they were talking about during that infamous QuakeCon. They talked about horse racing that they were touring around with. I guess they finally found a way to kind of put something in there. Oddities to challenge those more puzzle-oriented. Skirmishes, new public-style events with goals to accomplish when they're available. 4-player bosses. Gilded monsters run each district in specialized instances for 4 players, and 12-player trial encounter. The culmination of the night market for those who have bested its challenges. Alright. So we got some rewards. They got boons. Activities will grant powerful effects within the night market. Stacking these effects could be key to your success. So kind of like IA. Favor earned when your chosen faction to unlock new items to purchase on your whatever. The Knight's Den, a new house, earned by completing the introductory quest in Night Market. It even has a entrance directly from the Night Market. Well, that's kind of cool, I guess. There's more achievements to get, along with collectibles. That's cool. How to get started: navigate to Eastern Fargrave and use the new icon on the Fargrave map and to teleport directly there. Or so now we have Tamriel Tomes. Tamriel Tomes. The Update 49 season, as well as the Update 49 PTS Tamriel Tome, will go live on the 27th at 10 a.m. I had to check the map. In addition, please note that Update 49 PTS Tamriel Tome is not fully representative of the Season 0 Tome of Dawn and Dusk that goes live on April 2nd. The goal for PTS is to test functionality and address any bugs present. This PTS Tome will suffer differences from what you see in April. Some of these differences may include the rewards, the placement of rewards, as well as defining values. That kind of makes sense, though, right? I mean, they have an idea of what they want to go with, and, you know, they want to see if it even works, you know? That kind of makes sense. Plus, they kind of wants to be surprised, you know? You don't want to know everything going in. It's kind of not really the point. So it's basically a battle pass that makes ESO consistently more rewarding to play for everyone. Tamriel Tome will be a central part of seasons, offering rewards themed around the season and activities to complete. We want to make sure everyone can participate in it, whether you're interested in questing, trials, PvP, crafting, or other playstyles. I don't really mind. I mean, everybody kind of freaked out over the whole, like, battle pass thing. I just don't really see the problem. I mean, they have to make money. As a business, they have to make money. I mean, you can't walk into a Home Depot and just be like, you know what, I need this tool set, but I'm just going to take it. Yeah, it's stealing. Home Depot needs to make money. You have to buy it. So, I mean, this kind of makes sense, right? I mean, so, trade bars are a new currency primarily earned from engaging in the Tamriel Tome. This new currency replaces event tickets and will never be sold for crowns. In addition, you can earn trade bars from in-game events and vengeance campaigns. You'll progress the Tamriel Tome through a new challenge system that features weekly challenges and seasonal challenges. As you complete challenges, you'll earn tome points. Earning tome points will unlock further pages in the Tamriel Tome, and you can see tome points on unlocked pages to obtain rewards. You'll have access to 5 weekly challenges, refreshing every week. These challenges provide a wide variety of activities to engage in, and if you don't like some of your weekly challenges or are trying to sync your activities with a friend, you'll have the ability to re-roll weekly challenges. See, that's kind of cool, because sometimes I'd log in, and I didn't really like a lot of the weeklies or the dailies. You know, for the endeavors, I thought they were stupid. You know, sometimes, and it's like, all right, well, I just won't do them this. It became a point where, like, I didn't even do them. You know, I mean, I don't think a lot of people did. Seasonal challenges will offer more specific or larger activities, and will often be highly thematic to the current season's activities and events. Unlike weekly challenges, seasonal ones cannot be re-rolled. That kind of makes sense. And don't worry if you're not able to play every day either. Weekly challenges will accumulate up to 12 at once, letting you take breaks and pick it back up when you're ready. See, that's something that they needed to do. They needed to make the game less of a job. You know? Because I remember at a point, I think I said this too in the live event, the live stream that they did that I commented on. You know, it became a job to log in every day. You know, you log in, you know, you do the dailies, and then you do the daily endeavors. I mean, when I said dailies, then you do your crafting dailies, and then maybe you do you do all the other dailies, whether it's, you know, the whatever zone you're in, you do the world boss daily, you go through all that, and once you're done with all the dailies, like an hour later, you're like, all right, now time to play. I've already been playing like an hour, I'm good. You know, it just became a job, and it's like, it's not fun anymore, you know. Okay, so finally, while we're setting out to design Tamriel Tome, one of our main goals was to simplify some fragmented reward systems. To this end, we are removing the endeavors and daily login reward systems. Thank God, dude. I mean, this shit had to go anyway. You know, so I'm really glad about that. Oh, so now they got the new Gold Coast Bazaar. It's a new gameplay, currency-driven store located in the Crown Store UI as its own dedicated tab. This new store is home to mounts, pets, outfits, and even gameplay items. All items in the Bazaar will be purchasable with trade bars, our new currency replacing event tickets. Many of these items were previously sourced in Golden Pursuits, in-game events, and promotions such as Twitch Drops, Amazon Game Priming, and Doritos, to name a few. The Gold Coast Bazaar has two main sections, Seasonal and Gold Coast Wares. Seasonal is a selection of cosmetics and items that will rotate with each season. You can expect this section to refresh every 3 months or so. Cool. Gold Coast Wares is a selection of cosmetics and items that will stay on the Bazaar with every season. We may add or remove items from this section in the future, but you should not expect this to refresh with each season. Okay. Additionally, purchases made through the Gold Coast Bazaar are not giftable. They are account bound upon purchase. That kind of makes sense, though, really. I mean, honestly. The base game will expand. 4 classic DLCs and 1 class are now included in base game. Players do not have to own these DLCs and will receive them upon their first login after Update 49 is live. So the Warden class, Imperial City, Orsinium, Thieves Guild, and Dark Brotherhood. That's really cool, actually. I didn't think they'd make the Warden class base game. So now, you know, that's actually cool. They didn't say that. I applaud them for that. That's awesome. New ESO Plus perks. This is something that people, I think, maybe missed, or I don't know. But there are now even more reasons to subscribe to ESO Plus with all new perks, in addition to all the existing ones, which actually are nice. I mean, honestly, and I'm not, you know, I'm not like sponsored. I'm not, you know, you guys all know how you might know how I feel about ESO and ZeniMax, but just the craft bag alone is worth ESO Plus. I'm not even kidding. So you earn 10% tome points from challenges, 10% more tome points from challenges, as well as 1 cache of tome points and 1 premium tome point token per month. Reminder that 12 premium tome tokens allow you to unlock a premium plus bonus tome of your choice. New triple cap on transmute crystals up to 1,000, up from 1,000 to 3,000. That's awesome. New furnishing limit increases. New antiquity benefits. You can now enjoy doubled antiquity timer links for all non-trivial leads, up to 1 year for ultimate leads. Okay. Solstice DLC. Both western and eastern sides of the zone is now included in ESO Plus. So last year's quote chapter, if you want to call it that, I do, is now part of ESO Plus. I'm sorry, that's sick. That is actually pretty sick. Just this alone, I think, is an amazing idea. It really kind of tells me that they're really kind of shifting, and they're not just saying it. you know. So that's actually pretty cool, you know. All right, so combat refresh. The Dragon Knight class and two-handed skill lines have both seen updates to their visual effects, animations, and audio effects for active abilities. These updates range from simple upgrades to that retain their original flair and flavor to some that are larger in scope and add completely new visual and audio language. Some of their class skill line passives now include flavor text to help ignite your imagination while giving more insight into how their power are contextualized in game. In addition to this, many Dragon Knight abilities and passives have seen functionality and balance updates and efforts to help reinforce their core identity, which are detailed in the comment ballad section of the patch notes. Yeah, so cool. Existing character progression of the impacted abilities guns will update as well. Characters who have leveled an ability or skill line should see that progression respected automatically. That's actually nice. That applies to both abilities and their morph progression, as well as all three Dragon Knights class skill lines. Okay, when update 49 goes live, a bonus event will run that helps players catch up in skill ranks for times when we make significant changes to either the layout of a skill tree or the effects of a given ability. Oh, that's a really cool idea. This bonus does not affect the progression of skills that do not directly depend on experience gain. For instance, it will not make leveling fighter skill faster, but it will make ranking the silver bolts faster. Yeah, I mean, I guess they, you know, yeah, I guess that needed to be explained. Kind of forgot that some people, yeah, okay. 2 new homes are available. We got Buccaneer Bay. Need a friendly port in a hurry? Escape to Buccaneer Bay. Forget your woes. In a sunny seaside setting. Don't worry about raiders. Stories of ghost pirates lurking in the depths keep them away. Okay, if this is a house that has ghosts in them, like pirates and stuff, that'd be kind of sick. Night's Den. The night market provides vast opportunities, including so this is the nice house, the night market's house. Okay, there's new furnishings, new player experience improvements, account wide outfit slots. Thank God, back bar XP. This is the thing I'm more excited about than anything else. Bag and bank cost reduction, guild repping, guild trade listing to 30 days. Thank you, Lord. You can hide anything now. Improve sort order for vendors. Increase furniture slots and home recategorization. Okay. I mean, I think that this is something that was needed, you know? So staple homes. Traditional furnishing slots increase to 75, 150 for ESO plus. Special furnishing goes from 2 to 4. So so that's actually really cool. I like that. And these homes are now notable. So these ones went from staple to classic. And these ones are now notable. That's cool. They increased the transmute crystal cap, mimic stones, and outfit tokens. Okay, we have improved the sourcing of these items across the game, including golden pursuit. Okay, yeah, whatever. Mounts for gold and faster riding training. Thank the Lord, dude. They forgot to bold that, I think. Quicker crafting research, respec skills, stackable treasure maps. Yeah. That was always super annoying. You know? I mean, that was always super annoying where I had, like, you know, like, fucking, I can't even think of a zone right now. I haven't played in so long. Oridon Treasure Map 1. And I see Oridon Treasure Map 1 again. It's like, no. It's like, bro, there's nothing special about the fucking map. Just... Ugh. Werewolf Vampire Cures. We have made a number of improvements to Vampire Werewolf Quest experiences, added a new discoverable shrines in the world with associated vampire and werewolf icons. New shrines are in Oridon, Glenomber, and Stonefall. So like the first zones, like the first major zones. That's cool. Alright, so you can, there are NPCs that will allow you to begin their respective quests easier to find. You can also bite scratch other players at these new shrines. We have also removed the nighttime requirement that limited fiends nearby existing shrines from appearing to aid in natural bites. See, that's cool too. That's cool too, I think. That's a really good idea. That's a really, really good idea. Alright, so combat, here we go. This is gonna be the meat of everything, dude. I'm telling you. I don't care about that. Resurrection has become slightly less frustrating to use in high-intensity combat. The act of casting Resurrect on an ally can now be done while moving, rather than canceling itself if you move more than a few frames. Casting Resurrection will now limit your movement speed to 10% of your current speed. To retain the sense of risk and skill when resurrecting. Casting Resurrect now temporarily allows you to phase through NPC enemies while casting the effect to ensure you cannot be pushed away by monsters from the dire needs to resurrect. We'll have to see. There could be some issues there, probably, but that's interesting. I could just see, like, accidentally no-clipping through a boss or something. God. We all know that they concentrating on Dragon Knight. So Dragon Knight standard. This ultimate and this standard of Might Morph no longer deal damage to enemies inside or apply major defile. Instead, these ultimates grant you and up to 11 allies standing in the area increased weapon damage or spell damage and reduced damage taken. Okay. So it doesn't deal damage. Okay. So if you want, so you got one that increases your weapon, your damage, and reduces damage done. So more of like, that's like the tanking morph, right? And then you have one, the shifting standard, that's more of the damage morph. Okay. Interesting. Okay, Lava Whip. This ability now becomes Volcanic Whip for 7.9 seconds after it damages an off-balance enemy, which allows for multiple activations during that window. The time window activation can only occur once every 20 seconds. Volcanic Whip costs half as much, dealing 33.3% more damage, and deals its damage in a 5-meter radius around the original target. This change was made to help introduce Lava Lash Morph gameplay elements sooner, while also making the window of interaction with off-balance less restrictive, as you can now get a guaranteed window of time after hitting off-balance target, rather than being forced to drop everything you're doing while off-balance is active. These abilities no longer set immobilize or stun enemies off balance. We've sourced off balance on a new passive. You'll read about it later. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know how I feel about that one yet. This morph now heals you anytime the ability deals damage, rather than only when the Power Lash version is active. This morph sees the same change to activating Power Lash as the base ability does. Okay. Molten Whip. This morph continues to rework the ability into a more self-contained building effect, focused on high single target burst damage. It now builds when activating any Dragonite ability aside from itself, rather than only Ardent Flame abilities, to make the build-up more organic and rhythmic to use. Adjusted the stack bonus to 33% per stack, up from 20, but reduced the duration to 10 seconds, down from 15. Added ability timer to support weapon and see, I don't know how I feel about that. I think that makes... I mean, Dragonites weren't in a bad position, right? I mean, did they really fall off in the, like, 7 months I haven't played? I don't know. Also, I mean, one of the things that was the wrong with PvP was calculations, right? And is this just giving things more calculations? Like 7.9 seconds and... I don't know. Okay, Searing Strike. This ability is morph now lasts for 10 seconds, down from 20, but deal 50% more damage per second to make up for the shorter duration. This decrease in duration, but increase in damage should help make Dragonites more damage over time effects stand out. Venomous Claw. This morph has been reworked to Searing Claw, which deals flame damage instead of poison. It remains a stamina morph that increases damage per tick, which has been increased to match the same power increase with the shorter duration. Okay. Interesting. The heal of Burning Embers. The heal from this morph now scales off max health, rather than damage done, to offer a more helpful tool for tanks to gain some staying power in combat. The initial heal remains stronger than the overtime portion, can now critically strike, but no longer bypasses Battle Spirit. Wait, what's going on with fire? Wait, hold on. Oh, I guess they're... Okay, so they moved. They moved Fiery Breath? Okay. I'm confused. Core of Flame. Originally Inhale. This ability and its morphs no longer deal damage instantly or heal for the damage caused. These abilities now restore 15% of your missing magicka and stamina 3 times over 4 seconds. They continue to deal their original damage around you after the duration ends. Soul of Flame, originally Deep Breath. This morph continues to add an interrupt on the initial activation, but it now interrupts after millisecond delay instead of instantly, for better visual syncing and counterplay. This morph also continues to increase the damage of the delayed explosion, which has increased to a 33% bonus, up from 25. Heart of Flame, originally Draw Essence. This morph now heals you for 50% of your missing health each tick. It no longer adds magicka when damaging enemies, as that function of resource recovery is now part of the base ability. So where's Fiery Breath now? Okay. Fiery Grip, not there anymore. Hearthfire, which was originally Ash Cloud. This ability and the original Cinderstorm morph now grant minor fortitude and heroism to allow to allow allies inside the area, rather than slowing enemies' movement by 70%. Increase the radius to 8 meters on all versions of the ability. Fire Keep originally was Cinderstorm. Continues to increase the healing effectiveness by 50%, but now only does so if the caster is inside the area of effect. To make up for this, however, it also causes minor fortitude and heroism to stick to allies for 15 seconds after being healed. Okay. Hearth and Home, originally Eruption. This morph no longer reworks the ability into a damaging effect and instead remains a healing effect, but it now scales off max health. What is this max health tick? Is Dragon Blood gone? This morph continues to reduce enemy movement speed inside the area by 70%. This morph now also grants the caster major protection while inside the area to help the ability. Jesus Christ. Dragonite tanks are going to be fucking unkillable. What the hell is this? I mean, this scales off max health. This scales off max health. This heals you. Like, this scales off. What is it? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I like this or not. I don't know if I like this or not. I don't know. Okay, this ability in the original Flames of Oblivion morph now fire a massive wave of flames in an 8-meter radius rather than firing a limited number of fireballs to enemies in a 15-meter radius. This removes the original target cap of the abilities. Increase the cost to 40.50 per activation, up from 21.60 to account for the new melting potential. Reduce the chance of applying burning status effect to 5%. Let's see. Incinerate, originally Flames of Oblivion. This morph now deals 10% more damage and has a 15% chance of applying burning. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. They changed the passive. It grants you 225 magic and stamina when applying burning with Argent Flame ability slotted with a 1-second cooldown. It no longer increases the damage done of burning or poisoned. The burning portion has been moved to a different passive. Traumatic Burns is a new passive. It now causes enemies you've damaged with a direct Ardent Flame ability to take 5% increased flame damage while reducing their movement speed for 5 seconds. Rather than increasing your damage over time, effects against the by 6%. Okay. Fan of Flames, new passive. It increases your chance of applying burning by 50% and damage it does by 25%. These values increase by 10% and 5% per Dragonite ability slotted. This passive no longer extends the duration or damage of your Ardent Flame. Okay. A Soul Ablaze. This passive now increases healing taken at all times by 4% at rank 1 and 8% at rank 2. I don't know if I really like that too much. But, oh, so Fiery Breath is now in Draconic Power. Okay. Dragon Leap. Rebuilt how this ability handles the movement aspect under the hood to be more modern, fixing numerous inconsistencies compared to other movement abilities and unique bug cases. Fix numerous issues with the knockback being desynced from the actual damage impact, which should also make it easier to counteract the CC effects. This ability and Take Flight morph now deal flame damage rather than physical. Reduce the damage of the base ability by 16% to account for the damage change, as there are numerous ways to amplify this effect back to similar or higher values. I see that they're kind of getting away from other damage types. I wonder if this is going to be kind of a theme. where it seems like Dragon Knight's just getting back to flame. You know, I wonder if there's going to be a consistent theme, like maybe Warden is going to be focused on either all magic damage, or they're going to be focused on all ice damage instead. Like getting back to like a theme of which I kind of like in a way. You know, I didn't like that. I mean, I think other people probably won't like it too much, that they no longer can deal poison damage or physical damage, but I think it makes sense with the theme of Dragon Knight Fire. That's what you want to do. Let's see. Take Flight. This morph now fills you with Draconic Fury for 15 seconds after activation, which increases your damage done by 10% and doubles against monsters. This morph no longer extends the range or reduces the cost. Decrease the damage, the base damage by 19%. Ferocious Leap. This morph now instantly applies the damage shield for 10 seconds instead of applying it after. Increase the potency by 4%. This morph now knocks enemies up rather than away, to make it more tank friendly. Spiked armor. Okay, that's now Dragon Fire Breath, which was Fiery Breath. Decrease the duration to 10 seconds and increase the damage by 50%. This ability is now a stamina ability at its base. Interesting choice. Disintegrating Dragon Fire was Noxious Breath. This morph now deals flame damage rather than poison damage. It remains a stamina ability and continues to add Major Breach while applying the respective status effect, now burning, to all enemies affected by the initial hit. Engulfing Dragonfire. This morph is now the reworked morph, which costs magicka instead of stamina. This morph now channels the flame attack in front of you over 4.8 seconds and deals 20% increased damage when it hits an enemy, up to once every second, and up to a maximum of 80%. While Take Flight is active, this deals maximum damage. The damage is considered direct damage. Jesus Christ. Okay, for being called a Dragon Knight, the class has always been missing the most iconic feeling of being a dragon. Not wrong, really. I mean, it's really not wrong, you know? Dragon's Blood. This ability and the green Dragon Blood morph now heal based on your max health. God damn it. Okay. Sorry, okay, whatever. An increase based on your missing health rather than scaling exclusively off your missing health. This should make more reliable and comparable to other self-heals, with the nuance that they're weaker at high health but stronger at low health. Blood of the Green Dragon, originally Green Dragon Blood, just a name change, and Blood of the Elder Dragon. This morph continues to change the heal scaling to offensive stats, and now also heals allies within 10 meters of you for 2/3 of the original scaling. It also grants minor courage and major fortitude to any target healed, instead of just minor fortitude to you. Huh. Okay. Wing Buffet. Originally protective scale. Okay. I'm just gonna move on from that, apparently. This ability in the original protective plate morph now knock enemies within 6 meters of you back 4 meters after a slight delay. These abilities continue to reduce your damage taken from ranged and projectile attacks by 50% for 6 seconds. These abilities now grant Major Expedition, moved from the original fiery grip after 4 seconds. They renamed one of them to Fleet Step Wings and Protect the Blood, originally Dragonfire Scale. This morph has been reworked to a support morph. It no longer deals flame damage back to attackers while activate and sacrifices the new area knockback on activation. So what does it do? This morph grants group members within 12 meters 25% reduced damage taken from projectiles for 6 seconds and adds minor protection for 20 seconds to you and group members affected. It continues to grant you major expedition as well. I don't know. What I think is going to happen is that for Season 0, like, everyone's going to be a Dragon Knight. And all the trials and all, you know, like, everything's gonna flip, you know, because it's just, that's the only thing that this is gonna kind of do until they actually finish all the class refreshes, which I do actually like how they're doing it now that they've given us an idea of doing it. Like, there's now they have an idea of like multiple classes per per year. The only thing I am worried about, though, I guess, is, like, they're counting, like, this year, I think they're doing, what, they did two-handed with Dragon Knight, but then they do Werewolf, and then they do Warden and Sorcerer this year, and I'm like, okay, so if they're gonna do, like, guild lines and, like, other skill lines on its own as well, it could be dragged out for years. Because we have 7 classes and they're only doing 3 of them this year. They do 3 next year, you know, instead of 4, right? Let's say they do a vampire next year. And then that means, let's say Necro's not next year either. So now we're looking at 2028 for Necro. And it's like, okay, now that's bad because, you know, so I don't know. I think all this is going to do is temporarily, until all the classes have their refresh. Each time a class is added, it's only going to, you know, it may add to the meta, but the meta is going to change where it's just Dragon Knight. And then, okay, then maybe when Wardens fix, okay, now Wardens are alright, too. You know, unless they screw that up. You know, and then when they get Sorcerers, okay, now Sorcerers are. So by the end of 2020, in the 2027 as we enter, you'll only see Dragon Knights, Wardens, Sorcerers. You know, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's going to be a little isolating. Especially if you play a class that's going to be one of the last ones that's going to be changed, like me. Apparently, Necro is going to be one of the last ones changed. Which, after, like I said before, after the live event, I wasn't worried about. But now I think back and I'm like, okay, but they put Werewolf on its own, so that means Vampire might be on, is going to be on its own. Maybe Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, those will also be on its own. So Necro, instead of being, you know, 2027, might be 2028, maybe 2029. That's not fantastic. All right, Chains of Flame, originally Fiery Grip. This ability that's morph damage now applies Burning for more interaction with other parts of Dragon Knight. Added into a special sound effect to the act of successfully pulling enemies where they say, "Get over here," like Scorpion. Just kidding. Helping dial up satisfaction of controlling your foes. This ability and original Unrelenting Grip morph now apply major cowardice for 10 seconds. See, this is... I don't like that. It seems like that they're giving every buff, like every debuff and buff to every class, you know, because now Dragon Knight has... I haven't even gotten to Earthenheart yet, and it's like it's like they have every freaking buff now. Or at least all the major ones. It's like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I don't know. Chains of Domination increases the duration of major cowardice to 15 seconds to match taunt timers. Chains of Devastation This morph now grants major evasion for 10 seconds after activating to help you shrug off some of the damage you may receive for diving headfirst into combat. Increase the duration of the major berserk for 6 seconds, up from 4. I don't know. Note that this with the burning application helps to do notably more damage. So beware the Dragonite who pulls themselves to you. Also, PvP is going to be all Dragonites, and they're all just going to pull themselves to you. Pain in the Axe is probably like drooling over this, maybe. I mean, I don't know, maybe he's not. He knows a lot more about Dragonite than I do, but I can only imagine the damage and bullshit that very talented Dragonites could do. God, if Panda came back to the game, I don't know if anyone remembers him, but if Panda ever came back to the game, oh man. That would be insane, dude. Oh lord. Okay. Passives, let's see, burnished, I can read. Scales. Just a name change. Okay, whatever. World and Ruin. This passive now increases your damage done with area and over time effects by 7%. So they've increased damage done with area and over time. So Dragonites are going to be the ones to use for area of... Oh, Jesus. Okay. Elder Dragon. This passive now increases your health recovery by up to 700 per... Okay, this passive now grants you and nearby group members minor brutality for 20 seconds when you active. So wait, do they have also still access to major brutality too? So they have access to both major and minor brutality? Jesus Christ, man. Okay. Like, what the hell? I think they do. I'm just checking. Hold on. I'm looking for keywords here. Where is it? Where it was in multi-weapons, right? I guess maybe they don't anymore. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Anyway, Earthenheart. Let's just read it, huh? Shall we? Increase the base damage to magma armor. Sorry, forgot to say what ability I was reading. Do 12 and 15 seconds of this ultimate and the magma shell morph, up from 10 seconds. But remove the flame damage on both versions. This means these effects will be fucking useless. No. It means that these effects will not scale with Elfbane. So Magma Shell, they increase the radius of the shield to 28 meters, up from 8. So more allies actually get the shield. Increase the shield size to 133% of the target's max health, up from 100. Arcanist, eat your heart out. Fuck you. Corrosive armor now deals flame damage instead of poison because fuck stamina builds. This means the effect can now scale with Elfbane. Oh, Jesus Christ. So they take away one problem and they fucking bring it back. Base duration remains 10 seconds. Increase the damage per tick by 300%. Oh, well, fuck. Like it wasn't already powerful. This morph continues to cause you to run in fear and go, fuck you, I hate you. It continues to ignore enemy armor while active, but now affects all damaging attacks instead of just direct damage. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah, outside of PvP. In PvP, it's going to be insane. So now you can... Okay, so now you're going to have a Dragonite who's going to pull themselves to you. Fucking pop corrosive armor, you know, and just like destroy your life. You might as well just go get a fucking drink. If I come back and a Dragonite pulls themselves to me, I'm just gonna get up and I'm gonna go get a fucking soda, you know, get some fucking chips or some shit. Can maybe make a sandwich, because I'm just gonna be dead. Like, fuck that. Superheated Ward, originally Stone Fist. We didn't think this ability was weird enough. No. This is now a Magicka ability that grants you and an ally a sizable damage shield, scaling off your max stamina or Magicka. What is with their reception with damage shields? Because now, this is... Think of this as a superheating the air around your target so intensely that it prevents harm from coming through. This should help the support-oriented Dragonites have a more direct option to protect their allies, but they already have that in an ultimate. So does this and the other ultimate stack? Because if it does, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. If you can stack this with that other fucking I think it's an ultimate, and you're just like, it may be even better than Arcanist shields. Like, I don't know what they're doing here. Volcanic Ward, this morph adds a healing effect when the shield ends to offer some supplement to healing, because Dragonites apparently don't have enough healing. It also reduces the next instance of damage taken by 10% from any attack. Note that end means the following: the shield is replaced, the shield duration runs out, or the shield breaks. Magma Fist, I almost said first. What? This morph continues to be focused on stamina for damage dealers at range, with some support functions behind it, but is significantly simpler to use. This morph now deals flame damage instead of physical. This morph no longer splits between two distinct versions or has a cast time. This morph's debuff has been renamed Heat Shock, lasts for 10 seconds, and now causes enemies to take 33 more damage from all sources per stack. Okay. It no longer stuns on the third cast. Wait, so where is Oh, there we go. I was like, where the hell is spiked armor? Okay. Molten Weapon. This ability has morphed now caused the character's light and heavy attacks to deal an additional hit of flame damage up to once every 2 seconds. The damage is akin to a sticky damage over time effect, because they didn't have enough of those, in terms of number scaling, and should add some more value to this skill line for damage dealers. Obsidian Shield. This ability and its morph now lasts for 6 seconds rather than 6.67. Increase the duration of the major mending granted by this ability and the Igneous Shield morph to 4 seconds. Increase the self-shield size morph by 12%. Again, do these stack? Can you... Okay, so... This is going to be something that people are going to test. And I want, if I don't test it, I want someone to test this. Okay? Cast this, and then cast a fucking ultimate that also gives you a shield. How unkillable are you? You know? Like, there's 3 shields now in Dragonite. 3. Petrified. This ability and its morphs now have some adjustments to enable more counterplay in PvP, while also gaining some additional effects for PvE. These abilities no longer instantly stun the target and ignore block and dodge. Oh, Jesus fucking Lord. Am I being trolled? Is this the real fucking... Jesus Lord, dude. I mean, the only thing I can say, okay, is that if this is how all the classes are getting changed, like all the classes are getting this amount of adjustments and this kind of stuff, then I'm kind of with it. That means I have a little faith that Necromancer may actually meet the potential that it had way back in when Elsewhere dropped. You know, when Elsewhere dropped, Necro was actually pretty it was decent. It only needed probably 3-4ish changes to kind of be where it should be. Now it needs like a complete overhaul, but which it seems like this is. And if that's what they do to other classes, even like Warden and Sorcerer, which I do enjoy, then I'm kind of looking forward to it. But until that happens, like Dragonite's gonna be like, it's gonna be, no one's gonna play anything else. Like, for real, like, who the fuck is gonna play any other fucking class right now? I think that's the only downside to doing the class identity refresh so slowly. I agree with it to a point, but because you're doing it so slowly, that means that for a few years, the only thing people are going to be playing are probably 3 classes. And until the end of this year, people are only going to be playing Dragonite, you know? So, I don't know. Like, Jesus Christ. Wait. They no longer instantly... Okay, it said no longer. I didn't read that part. I'm stupid, but still, Jesus Lord. Okay, instead these abilities now begin... Oh, Jesus. Now they begin to encase the target in molten rock for 1 second while snaring them by 50% and immediately applying minor breach to them for 10 seconds. After this 1 second window, the target will be stunned for 4 seconds. Or 8 if they're a monster, kind of like that. Reduce the cost of the at base. Okay, whatever. Fossilize this ability. Because I apparently talk like this. Jesus, what's wrong with my mouth today? This mouth. Fuck me. Oh, Jesus, mother of Christ! Just shoot me now. This morph now adds minor vulnerability, increases the duration of the minor debuff effects to 17 seconds, ranking up to 20 because why the fuck not? This morph also continues to immobilize after the stun ends for 4 seconds. Shattering Rocks. This morph keeps the damage and healing on stun end. Increase the amount of damage and healing done by 15%. Okay. Earth Spike Mantle. This is where spiked armor is. This ability and its morph now increase your damage done by 100 all hits while active, rather than causing you to deal damage to melee attackers. Shatter Spike Mantle. This morph's damage over time effect now scales with your offensive stats rather than your armor. Additionally, while dealing damage with the effect, you can add 1 additional stack of Avalanche, which apparently they're going to explain what that is, up to once every second. What is Avalanche? Okay, Avalanche. This passive causes you to slowly build stacks of Avalanche when dealing damage, up to once every 1,000. No, I'm just kidding. They just wrote it backwards, I think. Avalanche grants you 1% damage done per stack and maxes out at 10 stacks. Failing to deal damage for 2 seconds causes you to lose a stack. And that's the way it goes. Earth Shield Mantle. They just changed the name. Okay. Oh, okay. That was, why the fuck are you gonna play anything else? Why am I gonna read any of these? Who cares? They're not in the game anymore. They're not in the game. It's called Elder Dragonites Online. That's what the game's gonna be until they fix all the classes. Until they at least get the Wardens. Then it'll be Elder Dragonites and Wardens Online. By the end of the year, at least we'll have Sorcerers. Holy fucking hell. I just... Oh my god. Okay, two-handed. Berserker Strike. This ultimate and Berserker Rage Morph's duration effects now last for 12 seconds. Onslaught now grants penetration for Giggity for all damaging attacks and 100% critical strike chance for 5 seconds rather than only granting penetration Giggity for direct damage attacks for 8 seconds. Okay, Berserker Rage, fix an issue. Don't care. As soon as it says fix an issue, I stop reading. Uppercut, where they reduce the cast time of this ability, its morphs by milliseconds. Congratulations. Momentum, increase the duration of this ability and then the rally morph to 30 seconds. Rally, this morph now heals 50% more at base The healing now increases by 20% every 2 seconds, up to a maximum of 200%, rather than 15% every 1 second. Oh. Scribing Elemental Explosion. Who cares? Because it's not a Dragonite ability. Yeah, that makes sense. Love it. Love everything about it. Awesome. Just, I praise the Lord. I can't get over, again, like, I like that they're definitely, see, what I thought, since we didn't know what the fuck seasons were, how many seasons there were gonna be, I thought there only might have been like 2 seasons like a year, and they might only do Dragonite and, let's say, I think the first 2 were Dragonite Warden. They might only do Dragonite Warden this year, and they might only do 1 class, like 1 to 2 classes a year, depending on the season. Like maybe one year they only did 1 season, right, for like 6, 7, 8 months, and then that was the only season that year, because that's what they said, right? You remember? They said sometimes it'll be 3 months, sometimes it'll be 6 months, sometimes it'll be blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so what if you have 1 season and it's for 6 months, and that's the only thing that happens that whole year? Right? And it's like, okay, like, does that mean the only thing you're gonna work on is just that 1 class? Like, what the hell? But so I like that I was wrong about that, but at the same time I realized with all these changes, Dragonite's gonna be the only thing anyone plays in anything. PvE, PvP, it's the only class that's gonna matter for at least half the year. And that's only if they, depends what they do to Warden and Sorcerer. If they do a lot of these and Warden and Sorcerer are like leveled up, then it won't be as bad. But if it really might turn into the Elder DK Online, and for people who play Trials, it was pretty much already that anyway, because it was when I stopped playing anyway. I mean, I don't do Trials, but the whining and craziness that was on the forums was pretty much Trials were Arcanist or DK. Well, guess what? Now you don't have to worry about Arcanist being there, but it's just DKs now. Okay, so they changed some item sets. I probably won't read these, but that's insane to me. That's just insane to me. I don't know. Like, just okay. Anyway. All right, so I'm just, I can't. Oh wow, they just. Oh, it's probably because I have no. Yeah, it's probably because of my internet issues. God bless Spectrum. I don't know. So they fixed some typos. I still can't get over Dragonite. Jesus Christ. Okay. Cyrodiil. Battle Spirit now has a heal over time modifier, which reduces healing taken by 50% if you have 3 or more actively on your person. This only applies to sticky heal over time abilities and not area effect ones, so healing springs will become a thing again. Notice roads in Cyrodiil now offer a bonus to movement speed while out of combat, on foot, or mounted. Sorry. These speed bonuses apply to roads which you see on the Cyrodiil map, but can also extend to some dirt roads, quote unquote. Alessia, Chalman, and Ash Keeps now have a larger courtyard area within the main gate to prevent players from jumping up to the inner keep from the gatehouse using a physics exploit. Whatever. A small barricade has been added to the stairs near Ayleswell Farm to prevent players from jumping to the outcroppings of an of an upgraded Aylesbury Keep wall corner. There is no longer a limitation when queuing between similar campaigns, i.e. a Cyrodiil campaign can now be queued to from another Cyrodiil campaign. Imperial City campaigns can be queued from other IC campaigns. Yeah. Leaderboards now go up to 100 entries and no longer have class assignments. See, like, what I think that it should do is get rid of, I think part of the lag with Cyrodiil actually has something to do with it keeps upgrading and the fact that they change the way that they look when they upgrade. When they upgrade doesn't mean a whole lot anymore. You know, it used to, where if you took like a farm or, you know, whatever, it would help out taking the keep. But now if you take resources, it takes time for those things to take effect. So unless that changed, I mean, I haven't played for a year almost, so, but still, I think that they should get rid of the upgrading of the keeps, and maybe it would reduce the lag in Cyrodiil. I mean, I know they already kind of figured it out, but it would, I mean, it can't hurt, you know. Battlegrounds, 3-sided battlegrounds have returned, thank God. Thank God. No, you cannot queue for another campaign while in IC, including series, if you have 100 plus Telvars on your person, so no cheating. Slog out. Fix an issue that caused Fighters Guild skills to be overwritten in Vengeance. Bounty Hunter quests will now function as intended. I realize if you log out, you log back in where you were before people start saying that. I just thought it'd be funny. I mean, I don't know. Telvar griefing is kind of stupid. Like, I remember I was in Imperial City. It was a couple years ago. I was in Imperial City and I got killed while doing one of the quests. And the person like whispered me, and they were like, you know, you didn't fight back, blah blah blah, whatever. And they were trying to grief me, and I was just like, dude, I don't give a shit about Telvar. Like, I've been, you know, I would have when Imperial City first dropped, but I don't anymore. You want more? Kill me again. I don't care. Like, I don't need anything with Telvar stones anymore. Kind of shut them up, but it was like, bro. Okay. To support the following DLCs becoming part of the base game, these products have been removed from the Crown Store. Morrowind DLC. This was already a part of the base game. We are just removing it from the Crown Store. Warden, IC, blah, 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 and the Guilds of Glory, the 4 DLC Mega Pack. Seasons of the Worm Cult Solstice DLC is now available in the Crown Store. The DLC includes both Western and Eastern sides, unless you are ESO Plus member. Okay, so event tickets have been changed to trade bars. This currency is used for many of the same things and has an exchange rate of one event ticket to 100 trade bars. This conversion happened automatically and you shouldn't need to do anything. As this is now baked into the Alth system, dude no longer sells the hide shoulders collectible option. Let your bare shoulders feel the wind. Dork. Updated to remove several help entries regarding morphing collectibles, as they don't explicitly morph the base pet anymore. To wit, the consumption of the pet was removed from all previous combining more collectibles. Ergo, you will no longer have to re-earn the pet after combining any subsequent collectible from that year's offering, nor is the pet required to do so at all. Thank Christ, to make shit easier. This is a game, dude. We're not smart. No, I like a lot of the changes here, and I am impressed to a point. I'm just worried about I'm worried about meta. I'm worried. I mean, I don't know why I'm worried about meta. I don't even follow meta. Meta's a joke. Hell, one of my characters should follow meta. It's kind of more of a joke than anything. You know, but I am worried about like what Cyrodiil's going to turn into. Is it going to be just Dragon Knights Online? You know, especially if what they do to Wardens and Sorcerers isn't going to be, as at least on paper, as powerful. I don't know. I might download the PTS again and log in and try some Dragon Knight shit, but I mean, I am interested in seasons, as you saw, as I talked about during the live stream. It made me a little more it made it seem more promising than originally it was, but I am worried. I am worried about jiving back in because my main class is Necromancer. My next favorite class is Sorcerer, and against a Dragon Knight now, do I even have a chance? I mean, I wasn't that great of a player anymore anyway. I was a good player at one time, not anymore. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, great changes for DKs, though. If you're a DK lover, I mean, I think these are absolutely amazing changes for you. If you're any other class, I think you should be sad. And, like, very sad. Go to your Tamriel therapist and be like, but I'm a warden, man. I don't get changes until the spring. Shit. So we'll have to see. I'm kind of curious about, they changed everything to flame damage, which I thought was a really great idea because that's the theme they're going with. In Dragon Knight's theme, flame. I think that matches. I think that's a good idea. But making things stamina, though, I think that's a really smart idea. That way people who want stamina can actually have it still, and they're not losing anything. They're just doing flame damage, which isn't really that big of a deal. At least, I mean, in my opinion anyway. Maybe it is, I don't know. And, I am curious what that's going to mean for other classes that have multiple damage types. Even Necro has multiple damage types. Are they going to switch up what damage type it is? Because the one thing that you could count on with Necro is that, Elemental Catalyst was the thing that they kind of really relied upon, and it was the only reason why they got invited to trials. So it's like, if they switch that up to where now, like, a class can't have multiple damage effects, like maybe Warden goes to, like I said, maybe Warden goes to just magic or just ice. Sorcerer sticks to just, Sorcerer would probably stick to just shock. Templar would probably be magic, right? So I mean, they can't make it unique for every class, because what would Nightblades be? But I am curious how all these things go. I am. But applaud Dragon Knights, because Jesus Christ, you guys are going to be a nuisance all of 2026. Holy hell. Jesus. I mean, if I come back, I'm going to be a Dragon Knight. Dust off my fucking crafter. Anyway, I don't know what you guys think about this. Are you excited? Are you worried? What are your thoughts? Share with me. I try to reply to as many as I can, honestly. I think this kind of makes me a little worried. It makes me a little worried on the direction and how long it's going to take to get to at least my favorite class. What's your favorite class? What's your main class that you rely on? Are you an alcoholic? I am. I mean, I have at least one or two of every single class. I just like necromancers the most. That's all. I don't know. I mean, I could even see people who dive into subclassing just to pick up Dragon Knight abilities. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those notifications too. Really appreciate you. And I'll see y'all in the next video.